have to put something different, something new in front of my eyes. And I'm on this little trip to put something different in front of my eyes, to get some inspiration as far as what it is I want to go forward with as far as my art is concerned, what colors I want to use, what vibration I want to put on the canvas. After I leave this little island, I will be going to Venice to show at the Venice Biennale, which is probably the largest international stage as far as art is concerned. And for me, this is a great honor. I have to put something different, something new in front of my eyes. And I am saying that this trip is to put forward an idea that the eye must travel. Even if it is to force the viewer to look at something, to look at one of my paintings, and always see something new in it, always travel from one point to another point, to another point, to another point, so that they can see what it is I'm trying to convey. And it's not really what I'm trying to convey, it's what you are trying to convey to yourself. As Edgar Degas said, art is not what I see, but what I can make you see. So I hope that if you look at the work there, you'll be able to see what it is I was trying to portray in those paintings. The names of them are very, very unique and special, and they give a clue as to what was on my mind when I did them. That came from a trip where I went to a lot of different churches and studied a lot about religion in all cultures, whether it be the Yoruba culture or Chinese culture. I found that there were stories in all of those cultures, along all of those lines, that spoke to certain stories of creation, stories of mankind trying to explain how he got here on this earth, and what is beyond this earth, what is beyond this life, and in effect, is there anything beyond this life? So I like to look at these older civilizations to find out how did they think, because they are the ones that planted these seeds in us, whether it be Christianity, and there are stories in Christianity about how mankind got on this earth. And I found it so fascinating that they were the same stories. Noah's Ark is the same story in just about every culture. There is a scenario of a flood that takes over the entire earth, and mankind is wiped out except for a few people. The gods save a few people, and they are charged with carrying out the ability to push mankind forward. So I think that it kind of has made me understand that we are more alike than we are different. I want always my art to say something creative, to say something about how I feel that we should live our lives, and live our lives in a way that is creative and helpful, kind, all of those things. I think even right now, this is very important. So that's how I would like for you to look at the art. There was a question that was asked. If you were to have a dinner party, who would you invite to this dinner party? Who would you like to have dinner with? And so, of course, I'm a very social person, and I like to talk to a lot of people, and I like to put interesting people together. And I feel like I would like to have a dinner party. And I made a list of all of the people that I'd like to have at this party. And I decided what I wanted to have was a dinner party where women could express themselves could express themselves openly and honestly to other women about the things that we go through, the things that we have, the things that we want to convey to our children and to our children's children. So I made a little list, and these are the women that I decided I wanted to sit down, break some bread with, have a bottle of champagne, and talk to, institute some conversation. So I thought that firstly I would invite Miss Frida Kahlo. I love her art. The story of her life is quite fascinating. She overcame a huge obstacle to begin to even paint. And so she was in so much bodily pain through an accident that the art became a way for her to express herself, to get the pain out. And I think that is why her art is so moving. That is why women all over relate to it and relate to the certain touches that she had, like the flowers that she wore in her hair, and the fact that she always dressed herself in a certain way. I'd like to also invite Elizabeth Vergy-Lebrun. Any portrait that you see of Marie Antoinette was done by this woman. And I mean, they are so beautiful, so feminine, so soft, as opposed to the other artwork of the time. And I'm talking about the 17th century. You had art either of the church or of the military. And she painted the women of her time. I'd like to also invite Georgia O'Keeffe. Now I really am enamored with Georgia's life, so much so that I carried myself out to Santa Fe, New Mexico to live and walk in her footsteps. She was an independent woman before independent women became the thing to be. She drove all the way across country and painted and rode a motorcycle and did all the things that she wanted to do in the early 1920s. So she has to have some interesting stories to give to this dinner party. I'd like to invite Edmonia Lewis. Edmonia Lewis is a sculptress, an African-American woman sculptor who was just, to me, took the classical Greek themes and made them her own. Now, a lot of people say, well, how do you translate that into what is Black art? Well, in my opinion, Black art is it done by a Black person? Now it's Black art. So Edmonia Lewis dressed in this amazing little beret with a tassel on the side. And she was a sculptor, marble, huge marble sculptures. I'd like to invite Alma Thomas. Alma Thomas was the color genius. She's lived a long time and worked in Washington, D.C., so she's known to a lot of people, a lot of contemporary artists, women artists there today. And I first became acquainted with her art. I was walking in Antwerp and I saw this piece of hers at a gallery in Antwerp. And something about it drew it to me. So I went to see who had done it. And once I saw the name and I started to research who she was, I know a lot of people that she knew. I know a lot of people that she is related to even. And that really just made me feel much closer to her. And it made me feel like I wanted to study her techniques and to become more aware of color theory. I'd like to invite Diana Vreeland. Diana Vreeland was the editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine, a woman who had a type of aesthetic for fashion, for color, for style that is unparalleled. She took Vogue magazine and made it from a little small women's magazine to a worldwide powerhouse, and did it in a most stylish way. Eunice Johnson, she did the same thing to Ebony Magazine. I remember reading Ebony Magazine and wanting to just be in her presence, because she had all of these beautiful Black models, and they traveled all over the world showing and being a part of the revolution where Black art, the art of fashion, was imported to all of these different countries, which is one of the reasons why Black women set the trends a lot of times for things that happen in art and things that happen in fashion and style. She had ageless style and ageless grace. Beth Ann Hardison. I love Beth Ann Hardison. She was a model who never wore any makeup. And she was just so, her beauty was so much ingrained in her and inside of her that she just didn't need any of the accoutrements that most models come to rely on, which is your face, your body, your ability to apply makeup and wear high heels and do all of those things. But I always thought of her as being above all those things, yet being successful in a very competitive field. I'd like to invite Toni Morrison, because I just want to hear what she has to say. And of course, in this day and time, I would like to invite Michelle Obama, because I feel that this is a woman who came from very humble beginnings, and with panache and beauty and charm and grace and creativity, helped reshape how we as Black women feel about ourselves, that we could be important, that we can be the queens that we are today. And now that being a queen is so important, just saying, hey, queen, has become something which we do for each other. I think that has a lot to do with who Michelle is, and how she represents herself. I'd love to hear what her thoughts are about children and raising those beautiful girls that she has in the light that she raised them, because they have become amazing women. So I think that would be like an amazing dinner party. I like to cook, so and I like to entertain. So I hope that this little blurb is something that interests you, that these words have interested you. And I will continue on this journey. I'll show you where I'm at. The name of this little island is called Agista. And as I said, it is just about an hour away from Athens, but yet it is the most peaceful place that I've seen in a long time. So I hope that you enjoy your time at Busboys, that you will go by and see the 3 paintings that I have, and that you enjoy them, that I make you see something. Okay? Au revoir.